Welcome to Love and Friendship. And look who we have here. Very loving, friendly people. Sarah Brett, Joe Ag. I'm your host, Michael Koran. We're going to be investigating the story of Abraham, the founder of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, who was called to spread blessing to everybody on earth, and we're going to hopefully contribute to that in the show. So if you're watching, if you don't feel blessed, you should call CCTV and say, hey, this is a show of spreading blessing. Blessing is fruitfulness in all our activities, right? Wealth, love, health, work, right?
That's
Those
right.
good things.
Everything in your life.
Yes, from
Bundled.
day to day, just life could be. I have one friend of mine who said every moment is a gift, even if it sucks.
A gift is a gift.
Yes, sometimes that's hard to if you're living but at least that's something to aim for. Okay, so we're going to start with Abraham, or Abram was his name was, and Sarah's going to read the call, the words he heard that started his journey, his sacred journey. Hopefully we can all start one this summer. Yes, you've been on some sacred journeys. You've been on both, but Sarah's going to share these just 27 words in Hebrew.
The Lord said to Abram, "Leave your own country, your kinsmen, and your father's house, and go to a country that I will show you. I will make you into a great nation.
Well,
I will bless you and make your name so great that it shall be used in blessings. Those that bless you, I will bless. Those that curse you, I will execrate. All the families on earth will pray to be blessed as you are blessed."
wow. And Joe, do you have the book?
I don't.
Oh, I think
On my
so.
phone, I have it. I got to turn my phone on. Oh, I got my phone on. Okay, I do have the book. Let me just get that up. I got to get into the app because I didn't want to have anybody call while we're.
You can read it. You can get it from my black book bag.
I go. So,
Yes. No, I'll give it to you. But we're going to hear it again. This is a more down-to-earth translation by Everett Fox. Maybe you can read yours too after, but why don't you read the same thing, Joe?
starting from
12:1.
12. And Yud-Hey Vav-Hey said to Abram.
And tell the audience who you had, if you don't mind.
Yud-Hey Vav-Hey is he will be who he will be. The translation Asher Ayeh Asher, which the divine, the eternal one revealed to Moses, but it's written here in 12:1.
And it's often translated as Lord.
Lord,
But really,
Adonai.
Yod-Hey Vav-Hey, yes.
Yes, and here it says Yud-Hey Vav-Hey, but often it's Adonai or spoken as Adonai in the Hebrew, which is Lord. Go, Avram, go you forth from your land, from your kindred, from your father's house, to the land that I will let you see. I will make a great nation of you, and I will give you blessing, and I will make your name great, to be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and he who reviles you I will curse. All the clans of the soil will find blessing through you. I like this translation.
And I'll read it one more time. Oh, no, I'd like Sarah to read it in this translation, if you don't mind.
Okay. And tell me again how to
You
pronounce
can just
that.
Say
say
YHWH.
Yeah, you can say Yahweh. Too.
Yahweh said to Abram, "Go you forth from your land, from your kindred, from your father's house, to the land that I will let you see. I will make a great nation of you, and will give you blessing, and will make your name great. Be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. He who reviles you, I will curse. All the clans of the soil will find blessing through you."
Wow. It's a different trend. It's really different. They'll find blessing, not just your name,
Right.
blessings through you. So what does it mean to be a blessing? Fortunately, we have Joe and Sarah to explain this to us. What would it mean? I mean, in the very beginning, in Genesis chapter 1, God blesses the fish and the trees, and that just means to be fruitful and multiply. What would it mean if you were a blessing, Joe?
To be fruitful, to be, like when we pray over food, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, we're saying God has given us such a bounty, has given us such a fruitful basket in front of us that, we're recognizing this is our blessing. These are the product of you. And then so to be a blessing would be to be fruitful for somebody else.
What would be an example of being a blessing?
Well, someone who, for example, I was speaking to somebody on the phone, and I was praying with him because he's going through a hard time. And so to be fruitful is to sow into that person, to comfort that person, to help him change his circumstances through, more positivity, to help him to gain perspective of a situation.
And I think you both try to do that.
Yeah.
And we can learn to do it better and better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Sarah, what does it mean to you to be a blessing?
We were talking about this before, and oftentimes the blessings are the lessons you learn from the hard times.
I see. You want to give an example?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say I had chronic eczema for 4 years. I just
And
wanted
what
to
is
burn my skin off. My whole torso was
Wow.
just
Wow.
so itchy.
For 4 years?
Yep.
At what age?
Mid-30s.
Wow.
And I just wanted to burn my skin off. I had gone through a stressful period, a stressful event, and it was like a switch went off in my body. And I just had to learn to relax. And at that point, I just started playing. I didn't know what to do. I just spent hours researching nutrition. I did all kinds of food elimination diets. I wore like the most basic fibers, washed my clothes with the most basic things, and nothing. And it really was just emotional stress. And I really just found, at that point, I really revisited meditation because I had explored meditation maybe 10 years prior, and it triggered all this anxiety in me. And I just thought, I can't meditate. This is like slow. My brain doesn't know what to do. But I went on YouTube. YouTube has such a great resource. And I just found visual meditations. And I just played these visual meditations. I wasn't focusing on my breath, letting my brain run crazy. And I allowed my body, it was the first time I just really accepted and allowed myself to really relax. But it took, to let go, it took 4 years of trying all this stuff out and being in denial about how much running around and how much stress and how much beating myself up I was doing. So it was really a blessing because further down the road, if I hadn't slowed down and really been kinder to my body and really prioritized sleep, because sleep wasn't something, my sleep hygiene was terrible, I could be having horrible health issues down the road. You always hear about the person that dies from a heart attack suddenly, that never slowed down.
The body's all stressed.
Yeah, so it was a blessing. But it was really pretty, quality of life was pretty rough for those 4 years.
Oh, beautiful. Well, it's a blessing to be with both of you.
It's
and
a blessing to be here tonight.
So and we can all join at home too and just think, what does it mean for us to be a blessing? Not just to bless people, but our very body. Can we do that in our body?
Yeah.
Mind?
Yeah.
Spirit? How?
My practice is that to the best of my ability, I try to eat kosher, which is for me a little more healthier. It's not so much of health; it's more of an obedience practice where it's a discipline where I'm not just putting anything in my body. I'm not that everything is out there is bad, but it's more of a disciplined practice where I'm saying, I believe that in the Torah, God said this food is clean, this food is not clean. So for me, it just brings me closer to my Creator, where the food that I put in my body, you are what you eat. So I just trust that He says, okay, eat this, don't eat this, because it's a trust thing. I'm letting go some foods so that I can eat and focus on the foods that he told me to eat. So, and there are things where if I can't find a kosher market around, I'll go and eat Indian food because that's a little closer. It's a little closer to the humane practices in Judaism. So I will find certain, like halal, I'll find a halal market or something like that to substitute maybe if I can't find a kosher market.
And
or something.
halal is a Muslim.
Yeah,
They're
so very
they're
similar.
rules of purity.
Similar practice, yeah.
So, Sarah, what would it mean to be a blessing?
I think true support for someone else who's going through a
Oh,
tough
I
time.
see, which Joe did to his friend. And the last line, through you, all clans or families on earth will be blessed. What would that mean to you?
It's a great thing. It shows leadership. This person's setting a really good example, and everyone else is rising up.
Wow. And what about in your life? Could you bring blessings to all the people you meet? Or all the beings you meet? Maybe cocker spaniels or
That would be
golden retrievers.
that would be amazing, and it would be absolutely something I would aspire to do.
Yeah, how would you begin?
I think I would begin by honestly just really following. I'm starting this meditation, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, that is talking about. Part of it is visualizing where you want to be, so the future, and then you want to meditate on how you feel when you're in that spot.
Oh my!
So then
What a
you
great
end up in this bliss state, and I do think if I'm showing up in a bliss state for people, and they, and I can provide a kind word or warmth, and I can read where they're at.
Well, bliss.
And that would be-
Provide bliss. A bliss radiator. A BR.
I like that, a PR. So yeah, that would be something very nice. And I know I've had someone today told me that you said a few kind words to her, and her it was like a switch got flipped on. She was in a bad mood, and she just was in such a happy space after you said a few. She said all he has to say is a few kind words to me.
I said critical words to her. I said she has a son who is depressed and sits at home all day. And I said, just love him. Don't criticize him. And she was touched, and she might try. So that felt good.
That's nice.
And Joe, to be a blessing, I guess you've answered a bit, yes?
There's that, and then if I could connect it to another story in the New Testament, in the book of Acts, where Peter, he was a blessing to someone who was not part of his clan. Cornelius was a God-fearing man. He was a very good man. He gave a lot of, donations to the people of Israel, or in general to people. He was a good man. He was a soldier, but he was a good man, and he was recognized for that in his prayers. And Peter was fellowshipping with this man, even though he was not a Jew.
So maybe we can fellowship with all kinds of people.
Yeah, and it's a transcendent love that
Just
extends.
remembered I didn't call. I have a homeless friend who wanted me to order some solar batteries for him. Didn't have a chance today. Thanks to you, Joe. Maybe I'll remember to do it.
I'm gonna write it down right now.
The note taker.
Okay, so we're beginning to understand even what the words mean. Now, why would he be the one? And we didn't read before this. Maybe we will. It's a little longer, but not too much longer. This is what happened before Abram hears the call. It just goes, it's very short. Joe, you want to read it?
24 to
No,
27?
27 and then the next page.
27 on the next page, okay. Now these are the beginnings of Torah.
And then on the page.
Oh, okay.
Say it again. Now these are the beginnings of Torah.
Now these are the beginnings of Terah. Terah begot Avram, Nahor, Haran, and Haran begot Lot. Haran died in the presence of Terah, his father in the land, and of his kindred, in Ur of the Chaldeans. Avram and Nahor took themselves wives. The name of Avram's wife was Sarai. The name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, daughter of Haran, father of Milcah, and father of Yiscah. Now Sarai was barren, she had no child. Terah took Avram, his son, and Lot took Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, wife of Avram, his son. They set out together from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. When they had come as far as Haran, they settled there, and the days of Terah were 5 years and 200 years, and Terah died in Haran.
Okay, Sarah, want to read the same thing? You mind?
Sure.
Okay.
Now these are the beginnings.
The
Begettings of Terah. Terah begot Avram, Nahor, and Haran, and Haran begot Lot.
And Avram was Abraham's name before it was changed. So Terah begot Avram.
Avram, okay. Haran died in the presence of Terah, his father in the land of his kindred, in Ur of the Chaldeans.
Yeah.
Avram and Nahor took themselves wives. The name of Avram's wife was Sarai. The name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, daughter of Haran, father of Milcah and father of Yiscah. Now Sarai was barren, she had no child. Terah took Avram his son, and Lot, son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, wife of Avram his son. They set out together for Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. Canaan.
Yeah.
But when they came as far as Haran, they settled there. And the days of Terah were 5 years and 200 years. Then Terah died in Haran.
Right, so this is
Okay.
what happened
Okay.
before Avram heard the call.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you make of that? Is there any hints as to why he would hear this call to go to the land I will show you, which, as you said, turns out to be Canaan,
Yeah.
the land his father was.
Land of Canaan.
So what do you, Sarah, you're an expert on what goes on in families. What was going on in this family?
You know what? A lot of confusing stuff.
Yes, tell us.
I really cannot even keep track of it all.
Oh,
But I know that the woman he married was barren.
yes,
And so I'm sure that was a hardship for him.
that was hard. And what happened to his brother?
So then his brother,
Joe can help if you
Lot,
know.
and was it Lot?
His brother was Haran.
Haran, his son. So Terah took Lot.
Yeah, no, even before
Okay,
that,
all right.
Haran died.
Oh, geez. Haran died, and oh, geez. Okay.
There were a lot of changes in the family going on.
Yeah.
There was a lot of shifting around.
So Haran died in the presence of, in the Hebrew, it's really before the face of his father.
Wow.
So this is a family that had a brother who died, and Avram then married Sarai, who we have soon learned is his half sister. That's not easy. Marriage is hard enough. So what do you think? And then Sarai was barren. So, and then Terah wanted to take off to go to Canaan. So it is confusing, as you say. I think it could remind some of us of our own families. Yes.
We're in 11, right? The end of 11.
Yes.
Okay.
But you can look at here. You don't need to.
Okay.
You can have this. So what do you make of it, Joe?
I see, starting from 27, right?
Yeah.
Terah begot Avram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begot Lot, which was his nephew, right? Lot was his nephew. Haran died in the presence of Terah. That's the thing that I just saw just now, actually. Haran died in the presence of Terah, his father, in the land of his kindred, in Ur of the Chaldeans. So they seemed like they were very close in a world around them that there was a lot of different people around them, but they seemed to like really stick together. That's what I get out of that. Like you have the generations here. They seem to be competing. Maybe it's because I'm thinking the chapters before, because there's generations of Noah and all this.
We have 10 seconds now.
Okay.
Then we're going to
Okay.
continue.
Just from what I get from it, they're listing all these generations.
And we'll be back in 3 minutes.